Hello, everyone. Today I have the pleasure to talk with Rockie Yang, who is the founder of Nog Data. And he is one of the speakers at the upcoming Data 2030 Summit, which is happening this September in Stockholm. Rockie, thank you for finding the time to do this interview. Can you please introduce yourself? Tell us more about your professional background and current working focus.
Certainly. Thanks. I'm an engineering geek with a bit of dip in business. I have been in the big data and machine learning space for the past 7 years, designed dozens of data platform and data application in either big data or machine learning in a variety of industries. When I doing the design, it always make me think that what are other alternatives we could possibly use and what more friction we can possibly remove. We all say that each road leads to Rome. I have seen that some roads are more straight than the others, and some data project will never make it to Rome. The level of difference can be very large, sometimes multiple magnitude large. From beginning of this year, we have been designing a development studio for data applications, since we have seen there are lots of things could be done a bit differently. And we follow the business first approach and try to disassemble each and a single part and then assembled again. The design is fully follow data mesh principle, and feel free to reach out to my LinkedIn if you would like to see what the magic is. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. That was interesting to know, and that is leading me to my next question, which is the presentation that you will have during this year's Data 2030 Summit. It's on the topic, Carve into Data Mesh with Business First Approach. What can the delegates at the event expect from this presentation?
Yeah, sure. We all know that a data mesh is composed by a set of principles, roughly 4. The data mesh itself is a methodology on logical level. It is not a cookbook that we can start making nice data feast. And Carve into data mesh with business first approach is an interpretation of the principle, and we can provide a real cookbook how to make it happen for your data dinner.
Thank you for these insights, but let's hear more, because data mesh has been a talk in the data management world for over 2 years now, and seems that many enterprises in the Nordics are already exploring the approach at large. Can we know more about business first approach when we speak about data mesh for organizations? What they should know about it?
Certainly. The data mesh is targeting on a really big pie to solve data problem in a large scale. There are many perspectives in the rather complex data space. And we rarely see 2 different people have exactly the same idea about what is data mesh, or say any topic. Since there are many people working on a data project with different background, this could lead different people pulling towards different directions. The effort might be reduced or even completely canceled. In the worst situation, a project can get stagnant even with a large amount of effort put in. As the business is certainly the ultimate place to realize the final value. If we take a business as the North Star, the whole organization can pull more or less towards the same direction, and in that we can maximize the impact.
Thank you for sharing this. We've had presentations at our events before on data mesh that approach this topic from different aspects. According to you, what are the benefits for organizations from data mesh? And can you emphasize the most important ones according to you?
Certainly. So data is the rapid growth space, and especially in the past decade, a different paradigm has been emerging over time. Star schema has existed for decades, and while a pure star schema has become too rigid for rapid growth need of data applications. And a pure data lake, on the other side, could become a place for people dumping data as well. And the data mesh is a new emerging paradigm, and it has 4 pillars and gives set of terminologies as the baseline and a set of rules we can follow. So when people working with this data mesh concept, we can working on the same foundation.
Okay, and are there any challenges that organizations should be aware from, technically or organizationally, when they're trying to make a success out of data mesh?
Thanks for a great question. Even for me, as deep as a technology geek in mind, I realize that the organization perspective is the key for whether a mission get a success or not. And we have to work simultaneously between a technical and organizational, exchange knowledge and philosophies. A big collision of different mindsets often will lead to the best result, as long as everyone is open-minded and working towards the same business goal to generate value.
I hope this will be helpful for organizations that are listening to this interview. And when should organizations actually start thinking about data mesh?
I would say if an organization has not started thinking of data mesh yet, it is time to start from today, just from now. Whether apply fully data mesh or not, or just take part of the philosophy into the daily work is already valuable. I once heard a great quote about someone asking what course should I take. And the answer was very interesting. Why ask? Just take all and pick what works best for you. There are many methodologies, and the data mesh is certainly the most important one at the moment, and cover the really important parts and learn from them and generating value.
That was a great answer, I have to admit. Do you have any final recommendations for organizations interested in data mesh? What they should pay attention to?
I would say the indication of what a simple statement is. For example, data as a product. What is the real indications? And for example, what is the data? And who can be granted as access? And how often it is changed? And so on. And this has to be from top on the strategic level and until divided to low and execution level. If without understanding the whole indication, it can become a fluffy. So the things has to be more concretized over time. So I think that's the most important thing to keep an eye on always.
Good advice. Thank you for that. And when we speak about the future of data mesh, from your perspective, what are the trends in the upcoming, let's say, 1 or 2 years?
I think this year is still the year of hype about the data mesh. And I believe in 1 or 2 years, it will be Hyperight, which means that it will start to put into the real action, even though that the buzzword will start, less people talking about it. And that is the time when the value is generated in real life.
Great. That was good to know, good to hear. And once again, Rockie, thank you for your time to do this interview. We are all looking forward to seeing you at Data 20 8:30. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Thanks. Looking forward to the great event.